Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tale, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, and shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now let's get into today's tale. Since my parents are moving in with Ushi's unexpected requests, caught me off guard in the house we shared, I was taken aback to be told such a thing. I hesitated but managed to request some time to pack. "Can you wait until tomorrow?" I asked. That was my response after some thought. Coldly, he replied, "Fine, I'll stay in a nearby hotel until then. I don't want to see your face." I wondered where he planned to get the money for the hotel from our joint account, but I decided not to ask him right. Then Andre remained silent. "If you leave any of your stuff, I'll throw it away," he said as he opened the door. I watched him leave and let out a deep sigh. I'm Theon, paying $1,800 a month for the house mortgage. Sometimes I wondered if he truly understood that I pulled myself together and contacted our daughter Lily in need. "To leave the house for a bit, can I stay with you for a while?" Sure, I'll come pick you up tomorrow." "Thank you so much," I replied. Feeling grateful for her words, I dialed another number. I felt like Daniel had been looking down on Meso. I decided to give him a lesson. In the end, Daniel had a tough experience. My name is Emily. I'm 51 and I spend my days working hard at work, and at home I live with my husband Daniel. One day I met him through an acquaintance, and before Ike knew it, we were married. At 23, we were blessed with an angelic daughter, Lily. However, Daniel hardly ever paid attention to Lily, and I was mostly Theon taking care of her. "Hey, play with Lily once in a while," I'd say. He carelessly responded. "That's a woman's job, right?" Yes. He had decided that housework was a woman's duty and wouldn't help, but Lily was such a good child, always helping me whenever I was tired. "Dad, if you're relaxing, help out. Housework is your mother's duty." Without hesitation, Lily retorted, "Then what's your duty? Mom works for both you and her." Even Daniel couldn't resist helping a bit after hearing her genuine words. Now Lily has built a new life in Addiston State, living happily with her husband's family. My parents passed away in an accident 5 years ago. Lily had to let go of our beloved family home. Daniel's parents live a bit far away, and we only see them at occasional family gatherings. They don't interfere with our lives and live peacefully. The relationship between Daniel and me was, to put it mildly, complicated. Simply put, he's living day-to-day like a part-timer. "How's your current job?" I'd ask. "I quit again," he'd say. His nature is to quit at the slightest obstacle. Whenever there's a problem, he runs away quickly. At best, he stays at his job for 3 months. At worst, he quits on the first day. Because of this pattern, there aren't many companies willing to employ him long-term. So even at 56, he's stuck doing part-time jobs. We often fight over this. "Don't you want to take things more seriously?" I'd ask. "You're so persistent. People just don't appreciate my abilities," he'd respond. Daniel's educational background is impressive. He graduated from a renowned university. Butone's worth isn't just about their educational background, and I believe he should utilize that impressive education in his work. But I sometimes doubt if he's truly leveraging his abilities. My background is different. I started working right after high school. During high school, my father fell and I had to support our family financially. Thanks to that, I've become a reliable figure in my company. Yet it seemed that Daniel didn't appreciate my efforts. "You didn't even go to college yet, you complain about me whenever I voice my opinion," he'd say. So lately, I've been careful about what I say to him. Back when he was chasing his dreams, his eyes shone so brightly that I was captivated, just like stars. While pursuing his dream, he truly sparkled. But recently, that spark seems to have disappeared. I wonder what he thinks of me. Lately, I've been having thoughts like that more and more, even considering divorce. Then a surprising incident happened. I was a bit curious and checked our joint bank account. It's decreased by 2,000. Why? For someone like me who doesn't waste money, this amount was a shock. After all, I've been working hard to protect our household finances. So I asked him, "What did you use this 2,000 for?" He replied with an annoyed expression, "Actually, I gave it to my parents." I thought to myself, why? His parents, nearing 80, were really energetic and enjoyed doing volunteer work. I had never heard that they were in trouble. So I was surprised. I always considered his parents to be dependable. They've helped us in the past, but I never imagined they'd need our help. I couldn't hide my shock and surprise that he spent $2 for his parents. When I asked, "Why did you spend so much money?" he replied, proudly, "Actually, my mother's birthday is coming up, so I decided to give her a surprise hot spring trip." "But why from our joint account?" I asked. He casually replied, "It's okay. It's all part of being filial." I was a bit angry and said, "Shouldn't you have used your own pocket money? He's always like this, using the money I save up without any hesitation, like this house, for instance. He committed to it without consulting me. When I was worried about the payments, he assured me by saying, 'You have a steady job, so it should be fine, right?' Even though the house was bought and mine to me, he seems to brag to his friends that it's his. Honestly, I've been feeling worn out by his attitude." "You're my wife, just follow my directions," he said, looking displeased. And then he went to his room. Whenever something went amiss, she locked himself away. Left to ponder our problems, I would engage in chores. The money I diligently saved now used to cover our tight budget as he consumed, almost, all my part-time job income. Despite my desire to escape the situation, I found myself sighing. One day, memories of our recent fight still fresh. Unexpectedly, a call from my mother-in-law thanking us for the hot spring trip brought more shock. Shed is closed. That he had proposed that they live with us after their trip surprised. I asked, "Why did you suggest living together?" He said they're getting old and it might be better to sell the family home and live together. She explained, insisted such decisions should be made together, reminding him of our household situation. In anger, he snapped, "You're so annoying if you're not satisfied to whatever you want." Speechless, I witness him hit the table in anger. "All right, but I need time to pack. Can you wait until tomorrow?" I managed to reply, "It's okay. I wanted some space anyway. I'll stay at a hotel for the next couple of days." He replied, hastily concerned about where he would get the money for the hotel. I feared it would be from our joint account, as he left in a hurry, threatening to throw out any of my belongings left behind. I felt drained. "Don't you know that I'm paying a monthly mortgage of $100? I muttered to myself. Deciding to seek refuge, I contacted my daughter, Lily, who lives in another state. "Hello, Lily. You won't believe what happened." I began, and she responded with her usual kindness. As I explained the sudden arrival of his parents and his demand for me to leave, Lily expressed her shock. "That's troubling, but if there's any way I can help, let me know." She reassured. Her comforting words lightened my heart. "I was wondering, can I stay at your place for a bit?" "Of course, don't even ask. You're always welcome," Lily replied warmly. Grateful for her support, I took a deep breath. After hanging up, I decided to go to Lily's place. But it wouldn't end there. I had my own plans, so I made another call to solve one more problem. It seemed like he was underestimating me, and if that was the case, maybe I'd give him a little surprise. The next day, Daniel found himself in a much more difficult situation than expected. His home, once a source of stress, now felt like a true sanctuary for the soul. For the first time while I had a genuinely relaxing moment. Taking a break from work, I enjoyed some me time, basking in the warmth of my daughter and her husband's family, who warmly welcomed me. The bond within the family felt incredibly special, especially after my mother-in-law's passing. Even my little granddaughter, initially wary, reached out to play with me, her voice calling me grandma, oddly comforting. In the midst of this peaceful time, my mobile rang, and looking at the notification, I thought to myself I knew it. I answered. And Daniel, sounding frantic, asked, "What happened? The house is a mess." Suppressing a chuckle, I replied, "That's because, like you said, I removed almost everything." Perplexed, he inquired, "What do you mean, almost everything?" I explained that I'd contacted a friend running a waste collection service, and they helped me clean out furniture and appliances. Recyclable items went to a trusted recycling shop, and non-recyclables were properly disposed of, reminding him that I chose and bought most of the stuff in our house. I playfully teased, "Do you recall anything you bought with your own money?" Taking time to think, Daniel replied, "You may be right, but the situation seemed a bit extreme to him." At that moment, Lily approached me, taking my phone with a smile, saying, "Mom, let me borrow this for a bit." Switching on the speaker, she addressed Daniel. "Dad, it's Lily. It's been a while." Her cheery confirmation puzzled Daniel, and with a serious expression, Lily asked, "Dad, why has it come to this? Mom has always been the backbone of our home and supported us. What about you?" Her words weighed. Heavy intention filled the room. Curious about Daniel's response, I decided to be straightforward. "Enough. Tell Emily, I'm seriously considering a divorce." "Are you serious? What do you plan to do, Mom, if it comes to that?" Daniel's voice carried sheer astonishment. My unexpected response seemed to catch him off guard. He appeared a bit too self-centered. "I'm open to a divorce," really, I reiterated, responding to his apparent disbelief. Recalling our marital life, I remembered how I took care of our finances while he spent freely. Money-related arguments were not uncommon. "It's okay, I get it. Just make sure to transfer the house's name," he said. "Sure, the house is yours now." "All right then. I'll prepare the necessary documents, thanks," after ending the call. Lily returned my phone. Concern showed on her face, but her smile was kind and understanding. Mom, are you sure about the house? You bought everything with your salary, right? Well, there's nothing to worry about." Actually, when I told Lily the truth about the house, she burst out laughing. I explained, "Indeed, I acquired that house with my money, but there's still a mountain of unpaid mortgages. The amount of those mortgages is many times Daniel's monthly salary. I can't imagine him paying that every month." "I see. You're really amazing, aren't you?" Mom, Lily praised. "I've been working behind the scenes a bit too, so Dad will probably get into a fix soon." "What do you mean?" he asked. "Actually, I've become very close with Grandpa and Grandma, so I get a lot of information." Adam winked playfully, flashing a mischievous grin. Unlike Mish, highly valued her relationship with her grandparents and frequently kept in touch. After Lily reached out to her grandmother, things quickly escalated. My in-laws decided to cut their trip short and came to apologize to me. "Emily, we're truly sorry. We should have explained our situation." They gently elaborated. On their recent chaos, the decision about selling their family home was true, but their reason behind it was because they were planning to move into a senior facility. They were currently waiting for a room to open up in the retirement home, and, for the brief interim, they needed a place to stay, which happened to be our house. Upon hearing their wishes, Daniel suggested they all live together with him. Although my in-laws were worried about causing me inconveniences, Daniel told them, "Emily fully agrees." In fact, she suggested it. Thus, they seemed convinced to move in. However, I never agreed to any such thing. My relationship with me in-laws was quite ordinary. I would never make such a bold proposal. "So it was all Dad's cunning idea," Anne remarked, looking exasperated. In-laws resembling parents apologizing for their child's mischief seemed deeply remorseful. Afterward, they were furious at Daniel, their eyes brimmed with the question, "Why would you do such a thing?" They concluded by seemingly cutting ties with their son, distancing themselves from him. Later, they deeply apologized to me and left in a somber mood. Honestly, I think my in-laws are decent people. They seemed financially stable, having aided in Daniel's expensive university fees. "Hey, you think Grandma and Grandpa's parenting style is a bit too liberal?" Lily asked me curiously. "Why do you think that way?" I responded, "Well, they could see Dad not working, but they didn't say anything. Plus, he seems to have inherited their personality." True, Daniel always appeared quite indifferent towards me. My in-laws seemed absorbed in their volunteer work and hobbies, drawing a line between them and our family. However, maybe that's not unusual. I was always worried about you, Lily, and occasionally called you. Perhaps my in-laws' leniency influenced Daniel's selfish behavior. But Daniel is an adult. He shouldn't let little things upset him and should act responsibly. It had only been a month since our divorce. When my phone rang again, I noticed Daniel's. Name, someone I considered part of my past. With a slight frown, I answered, "What now?" "We have nothing left between us." "Listen, it's about the house mortgage." Panic and confusion fill his voice. Apparently, he had received the next mortgage statement I had diligently paid $1,800 every month, but he might have been unaware of the amount. It says $1,800 a month. Unbelievable. "Yes, I've been paying it properly. You graduated from a good school, right? You can manage that, can't you?" I could understand his shock. Daniel's Income was just over $200 a month, and given his spending habits, he barely saved anything. Although most items in the house were gone, he managed with things he received from his parents. However, he wasn't good at housekeeping and ended up spending money on eating out and laundromats. For him, a mortgage surpassing his income would be tough. Are you surprised that I, a high school graduate, can pay 1-800? Well, kind of. You see, even as a high school graduate, I worked hard steadily getting promotions. I realized the importance of perseverance. That's impressive. But it might be tough for me. It was your choice to be in this situation. Stop blaming others and take responsibility. When we divorced, we had clearly discussed the mortgage and other details. It was a given that Daniel would pay for it if he continued to live in that house. By the way, his parents seemed to have moved to a senior facility. When Daniel reached out for help, they firmly told him, "You're an adult, take care of your own affairs." Emily, won't you reconsider? Let's start a new wait. You're kidding, right? We can't be together anymore. Then how am I supposed to pay off the mortgage? That's for you to figure out. When we were together, I paid for it, didn't I? Hearing his frustrated voice, I thought to myself, do your best. His future decisions and actions were up to him. I changed my settings so that I wouldn't receive any more calls from him. I had just started on a new path, so being pulled back into the past was really bothersome. Hey, did you get any call from Dad? Actually, yes, despite never truly apologizing, he asked if we could get back together. I could see through his words, though. It's all about money. Oh, maybe that's why he contacted me too. After I rejected his proposal, it seemed he had been contacting Lily numerous times. Despite always being weak in front of Lily, him persistently trying to contact her might mean he was genuinely struggling. I told him that this is their result of his actions. Exactly. Also, now that you finally have the peace you deserve, Mom, I told him sternly. Not to cause any more trouble. Thank you so much. Lily, I'm so happy to see my daughter grow into such a considerate and wonderful woman. I felt proud of her. Hey, Mom, I've been wondering, do you know what Dad was spending his money on? Why do you ask? Didn't he frequently spend money on gambling? At that, I couldn't help but chuckle. Daniel's income wasn't that great. To be honest, now that I think about it, maybe he was sometimes grumpy because he lost money due to gambling. That's true. On the days he would sometimes buy special treats. His personality was perhaps a bit simple, but I wonder why I even marry him. I chuckled at the naivety of my past self. When my friend introduced me to him, he seemed to sparkle. But Lily is smart. She learned from my experiences and chose someone opposite of Daniel, someone truly kind. Lily's husband is family-oriented, spends weekends with her and their daughter actively, and has a high position at his job, ensuring a stable life. He loves playing with his daughter during his free time and occasionally checks up on me. You really chose a good man. Do you think so, Mom? Thank you. As she spoke with a beaming smile, she looked genuinely happy. From now on, it's time for you to enjoy your life more. I'm Dingolder, though I'm not sure where to start. Age is just a number. Mom, you can still find a lot of happiness ahead of you. Hearing Lily's words warmed my heart. I suddenly hoped for someone understanding, like Lily's father-in-law, to be my next partner in life. Just then I heard my granddaughter calling out to play. Grandma, come play with me. Oh, have you been waiting to play with me? Let's play together. Surrounded by Lily's joyful family, I too was smiling. I'm glad that Lily is blessed with such a wonderful family. Changing the topic, Lily said, it seems Daniel faced financial difficulties and had to sell a house. He used the money to pay off some debts but moved to a cramped apartment. He struggled to find a stable job and his debts only grew. Eventually, he couldn't even pay rent and ended up living on the streets. One day I heard shocking news that he was taken away by a shady group. His path was indeed a result of his own choices. Daniel's parents felt deeply remorseful. They didn't want to burden many more. They sold their house and used their savings to pay for a facility. They also ensured their inheritance would go to me. I don't need this much money, I told them, but they insisted it was their apology. In the midst of all this, with a bit of financial freedom, I considered moving out of Lily's home. But Mom, you can stay here. I certainly don't want to bother you and your family. Lily, actually, my husband and I were talking about living together with you. Really, it seems you've always cared for me. After discussing it with her husband and father-in-law, they plan to invite me to live with them. And then I received the invitation at just the right time. So Mom, don't be too concerned. Just have fun playing with the kids. Okay? Thank you. Lily. My granddaughter had taken a real liking to me due to Lily's husband's background of being raised in a single-parent household with his father. He warmly welcomed me into their home, and his father-in-law also expressed his wish for me to live happily. With that kind gesture, I decided to move in. With them previously, money was tight, so I had to work. But now with the help of Lily, her husband, and her father-in-law, things have become much easier. And here's some exciting news: Lily is expecting her second child. In the meantime, I've been helping around the house, playing with my granddaughter and spending my time that way. Lily's father-in-law also helps with household chores just like me, so we have a fun time together doing things around the house. Whenever I do something, the family always says thank you, and that makes me very happy. Unlike my previous husband, this family openly expresses their gratitude each time. I truly feel fortunate. When asked how I get along with my father-in-law, I replied with a smile, I want to spend my life with him forever. That's good. It feels like a new family, Lily said, gently rubbing her belly. With Lily in my life, everything has become much brighter. Meeting her might be the only thing I'm thankful for regarding Daniel. Oh, with that thought, I'm motivated to do my best for my family today as well, Emily, if you'd like. I want to walk through life with you from now on. How does that sound? Are you sure about me? If so, of course, let's be together. I responded to his words like this. I've regained my confidence. I was on the verge of forgetting my own worth, but his words made me realize its value again. I believe that as a family, we'll face many happy moments and challenges together from now on.